waiting for Robert. Thank you. You ready? Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started then. As you know, we're here to hear the announcement for Newman Abuissa. I've known Newman for, I don't know, what did we decide, 15 or 20 years? And we started talking about the Israeli-Palestinian issue with presidential candidates. And so we've been doing that for a long time together. And as we talked to presidential candidates, I got to know his ideas about what he would like done in the United States and about our politics. And the more I heard him talk about, the more I liked. So without further ado, I'd give you Newman Abuissa.
Thank you everybody for coming today. It's a special day for me, and I think it's a special day for Iowa. It's really important that we have this process, this democracy, which is somewhat new to me, but I think it's also losing some of its strength in this country, and that's why I decided to run. My name is Newman Abuissa. I was born and raised in Damascus, Syria. I came to the United States 35 years ago to study engineering, and that's where I met my wife, Christy, right there, and in Brookings, South Dakota. We settled here in Iowa City 25 years ago. We have raised 4 children, 3 boys, and our youngest daughter, Miriam, and she is a City High student. I've been active in civic and political organizations, including Peace Iowa, Council of International Visitors to Iowa Cities, Concerned Iowans for Middle East Peace, and the University of Iowa Center for Human Rights. I have helped establish and build the St. Raphael Eastern Orthodox Church community here in Iowa City. And we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary next year. I've been active in the democratic politics since I became a US citizen 25 years ago. I went to Boston as a national alternate delegate for John Kerry in 2004. And for the last few years, I have been the state chair for the International Affairs Subcommittee of the Iowa Democratic Party Platform Committee. Today, I announced my candidacy for the United States Congress. I am standing here not as a professional politician, but as a civil engineer, as a builder. Like our physical infrastructure, too much of our social infrastructure has been neglected and allowed to crumble. I believe that focusing our resources and working together, we can build a new and better Iowa, a new and better America that will, for decades ahead, give our children and grandchildren a better place to live. Together we can build a better, healthier environment that not only tackles the global climate crisis, but our economic and social crisis as well. We will build an economy, a healthcare system, and an education system that is sustainable and that works for everyone, where everyone can flourish and where no one is left behind. Together, we can build a just and rational foreign policy that restores America's place in the world. We will promote our values, work together with our allies, and stop pandering to our enemies. America will no longer be a friend to dictators or a neighborhood bully. We will be respected and admired once again around the globe. And our crops and products will be sold in fair and open markets around the world. Together we can build a constitutional government that is transparent, responsive, and accountable to all its citizens. Big money will no longer corrupt our system. The ballot box will be available to every citizen. Every vote will be counted, and every voice will be heard. Cynicism will be replaced as our people regain trust. None of this will be easy. This is so much work to do. And everyone's contributions will be needed. But together, we can rebuild our community and our common life and restore America to the way it was meant to be. Please visit Newman for Congress website and Newman for Congress Facebook page. Friend me, and let's start our movements. Thank you very much for coming today. I'll be glad to entertain any questions you might have. Yes?
Newman, we seem to have a government that's bought and paid for by the corporations. And sometimes that, our congressmen and even our state legislatures kind of kowtow to the corporations that have given them the most money. Are you going to be accepting corporate PAC money for your campaign?
No, I will not be accepting corporate PAC money, but this is a very good question. You're right. Our government is not responsive to the people. They are talking about money and more money. They think that campaigns take a lot of money and they need donors to contribute those monies. My campaign is a grassroots. I see that the big money are not working for the American public. They are working for their profit, and this is not good for America. I can see it in the military industrial complex. We are spending $32 million an hour on our wars in the Middle East, and our infrastructure is crumbling meanwhile. I am a civil engineer, and I work in the transportation industry. Those $32 million an hour, for example, can build an interchange like I-380 for our Green Road. The I-380 interchange will cost about $400 million, and that is about 10 hours of our spending on the military in the Middle East, which is really gaining us nothing at this point. We have endless war, and we are spending our money, and none of the candidates is talking about this issue. This is the big elephant in the room, and I am going to force this issue to the forefront, because really it is a big issue. Our veterans are suffering in that war. They come here without enough support, without enough attention, and they are either homeless, and some of them are committing suicide to the rate of 21 every day. And we've done enough damage in the Middle East. I think it's time to change our approach. It's time to rebuild democracies. I just marched today with the Sudanese population here in Iowa City, and they're asking for democratic Sudan. Our government has been supporting the Saudi government, and the Saudi government has been supporting the military junta in Sudan. I think we've done enough of that. It's time to look for the future, look for democracy, and stop listening to the lobbies to keep the way we are living now.
So what you're talking about is a peace dividend. That without spending so much money on those regime change wars, interventionist wars, we can take
spend it
money
here
and put it into our infrastructure, put it into our social services.
We will spend it here at home, and that will generate more jobs, and the money will be spent here at home, and it will not go to the top 1 or 2% of the population. It will go to every neighborhood, to every city, to every rural community, and that is the way to rebuild America, and that is my plan.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, John.
A day or two ago, Paris hit a high temperature of 112 degrees, which is unheard of for Western Europe. Climate change is not a problem for our children or grandchildren. It's a problem that we're facing right now. What are the sorts of things that you think the government needs to be doing to address the problem of climate change?
It's not only a problem, I think it's a crisis. I think we have really neglected this issue for years, and we are running out of time. It's a crisis, but also it's an opportunity. We need to look into the new industries which are sustainable. We need to look at conserving energy, while sustaining our lifestyle. We have to look for renewable energy, wind, solar, and others, and that will create jobs. I know Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids and have a two-year degree for wind energy. And I know that the wind industry is short on workers. We need to build more wind energy. Iowa is leading in the solar energy, and we need to stay in that area, and we need to be a leader for the rest of the globe. There's other opportunities to rebuild electric cars and take the leadership globally. Because if we don't take it as Americans, other countries might do that. And it's really up to the United States to be ahead in those areas, in those industries, and create the jobs in this country and be a leader for the rest of the globe. It's very important that we pay attention, not only Paris is hot, but here in Iowa we have experienced floods and we've experienced high rain. We've had the wettest 12 months in the last 12 months for the recorded history of Iowa. And we can see it here. Communities on the Mississippi River are flooded and they are suffering as well. And the same thing has happened in western Iowa as well. Ed?
On the climate change thing, what is the connection between our military budget and the actions of our military and the military-industrial complex with the climate crisis? I mean, Raytheon is now the new corporate mother of Rockwell Collins. What if mammoth companies like that were dedicated to remediating the climate crisis as opposed to abetting it?
Our military is one of the most energy-intensive industries in the world. They burn lots of fuels patrolling the world. Our military depends on the fossil fuel industry and also being used to secure the fossil fuel resources around the globe. They are creating friction around the globe, and that's what I mentioned, that we are spending those trillions of dollars in the Middle East to keep the sources of energy the same way they are now. I think we need to move away from fossil fuel energy to renewable energy. We need to reduce our spending on the military and reduce our conflicts. The military is not the only tool we have. It should be the last tool we have. We need to use diplomacy. We need to use many other tools and have a strong military for only use it when we have to, not on endless situations. For example, the first Iraq war, we had a coalition of 100 countries. We had a mission, we accomplished that mission, and we came back. The second Iraq war, we are still there now, and actually that is weakening our position in the globe because we cannot negotiate with Iran with having small military footprint in Iraq and elsewhere in the Middle East, which are really not for our advantage. Does that answer your question? Thank you.
Many Democrats, all Democrats have your same beliefs about climate change and renewable energy and getting away from fossil fuels. As a civil engineer, do you feel like you bring any extra qualifications to make that argument to Republicans or whoever you might be up against?
I think I do. I have a little different perspective. We can do more to fix our roads. We have improved our roads from C- to C+ in the last 5 years. That is an improvement. It's not enough. We can still do more to improve our roads and bridges. But our transportation industry is the way it is now, is dependent on lobbies also. I have a Fulbright Scholars friend of mine. He came from Morocco to Iowa City. And a few weeks ago, he posted a picture of him riding on a fast train in Morocco. If Morocco can afford to have a fast train, why can't the US afford to have a fast train? When my son comes from San Francisco to visit me once or twice a year, and he insists to using sustainable modes of transportation, he comes on the train. It takes him 48 hours from San Francisco to here. Sometimes he has only 1 week, and that takes quite a bit for him to come all the way. the train goes about 50 miles per hour. Today's trains can go 200 and even 300 miles per hour. And that will change the environment we do. But the airline industry and trucking industry are keeping the way as it is now. I am going to bring those questions to the table. Let's discuss them. Let's see what works for this country and what does not work. Let's be open-minded and let's have all the options on the table. John?
Well, I don't have a question, Newman, but first of all, we are very happy that you decided to run and be our voice in Washington, D.C.
Thanks to you and thanks to Ed.
It is important to be the voice of what I call the voiceless and bring the change to Washington. So all your ideas when taken has very real value, and we look forward to start calling you our congressman.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you. It's too early, but let's do the work ahead of time. There's lots of work ahead of us, and it is going to take, I've heard 10 times as we expect it to take, so it's not going to be easy. I need everybody's help to move in that direction and to energize our community, to energize the voiceless people, because those people have been trampled upon for so long, and they have been hopeless sometimes and passive, and that's really heart-touching for me. I think we need to reconnect with those people, because in America, every voice should count. Everybody has dignity. Everybody can contribute to our country, regardless at what level they are. We are moving to a new economy, and we have to be ready for the new economy, and we need more people in the humanities. We need more people in the art. We need more people to energize our community. Yes.
You want to introduce the treasurer of the campaign?
Yes, I'm very lucky to have Margie Miller, who accepted to be my treasurer, and she is. We are working on the website, and Joe, I think, is hinting that when we get our website going, we need your contributions at some point. So we would love to have you contribute to the campaign. Yes.
Just pardon my ignorance, but Dave Loebsack is a wonderful congressman. You won't be running against him, will you?
No,
Running against him?
He's retiring.
He's retiring. He decided to retire, and we will have a primary in June next year. We have almost a whole year now to vet the candidates on both parties, or more than two parties, I guess, depending on how many parties will be running. And I am ready to take this challenge. I'm ready to discuss our ideas, what is important, and not only discuss it, but I need to energize the people, awaken their trust in government, and have them a full participant in our democracy. We've been passive somewhat because we've been lied to, and we've gone to wars, and people are not discussing the critical issues. I want to concentrate on the core issues which matter to our society. I want to talk about the big issues, our priorities first. Sometimes they talk about the secondary issues, and those are important as well, and I'll talk about the secondary issues a second, but I want to talk about the big item issues first. Our democracy is at stake, our war spending is too much, our infrastructure is deteriorating, and our social infrastructure also is deteriorating, and we need to be ready for the future. We need to be ready for our kids to have an economy which works into the future, which will keep the United States as a leader around the globe, will be building on what we did in World War II with the international coalitions, and we need to work multilateral, and we are being challenged by China and Russia. And that is good to be challenged, but also that should activate us to move forward, to energize ourselves, and to build more. Thank you very much for coming today, and my family made some homemade baklava and a few other things, so we'd love to have you stay and have some food here with us today. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thanks. Now you can you.